Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Connor here with another video. We're going to be doing NBA predictions. Wonder if you can hear me. This is what the bracket looks like. Shout out to NBA.com. And, alright, so here we are going to do is NBA playoff predictions. Now I can't, so I'm not going to write down the teams and stuff. So whatever team I say, they'll show a picture. Yeah. So this is my opinion. My opinion. I'm a little bit biased. We're all biased. This is my opinion, and I know that some players are going to disappoint and some players are going to shine, and that could definitely help, and that could definitely change this bracket. But yeah. So I'm going to go from west to east, left and right. The one seed Lakers versus the eighth seeded Trailblazers. Now, I actually think the Trailblazers can actually win the series. If the Trailblazers win the series, I'm really not going to be shocked at all because let's face it, Lakers don't have any playmakers outside of LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and when LeBron James is on the bench, even if Anthony Davis is on the court, the Lakers steadily go down, and they really needed pieces like Rondo, who is amazing in the playoffs, and Avery Bradley, who can give you that defense in that 8 to 9 points a game. And then you have Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, and then you have the addition of Yusuf Nurkic back from injury. And so you can definitely look at an upset, but I'm gonna go with the Lakers just because like LeBron, he's gonna give it his all, and playoff LeBron is definitely going to be good. So I'm gonna go with the Lakers. I feel like Caruso's really good defender. Damian Lillard's still gonna go off, and CJ McCollum's still gonna go off. But yeah, I say in six, but I'm not gonna say how much in games. Just gonna say. So it's the Houston Rockets versus my favorite team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Again, this is a tough one because Houston has a lot of playmakers. Houston has a lot of playmakers, of course, and they can shoot the three and live by the three and die by three. And this is might be a hot take, but James Harden actually does really good in the playoffs, except for elimination games. Like if it's a game where if they lose, then they get eliminated, then James Harden isn't that good. But yeah, in the first round, he's really good. This is again. I'm gonna say the Rockets because they have more. They have like more playmakers. And at the end of the day, the Thunder, my favorite team, the Thunder, is coming from Thunder fan. It's just all balanced, and we definitely have a superstar in Chris Paul and a really, really, really good player in Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Like I think Harden's gonna make the difference. Definitely, Harden's gonna make the difference. Also, the Rockets team is better in bench, has a better bench than us, but we have a lot of defenders and yeah. So again, most of these are just that if the underdog wins, you can't really be shocked by it. So yeah, I'm gonna be the Rockets versus Lakers. Now Denver versus Utah. Denver. I'm just gonna say Denver straight up. Denver. It's because the Utah Jazz. If they have Bojan Bogdanovic, bro, they would be, they would fight. But I see Denver winning like 6 games. It's just because like Denver has more playmakers outside of Donovan Mitchell. Who is a playmaker? No one's a playmaker. Mike Conley could be a playmaker, so I'll give Mike Conley. That's like 2 playmakers, and I just don't know, man. The Jazz just need Bojan Bogdanovic and that other playmaker. Same with the Nuggets, but they have more playmakers because MPJ is rising. Jokic obviously, could be a serious one, and Jamal Murray's he's a good playmaker. He could create his own shot. But yeah, the Denver again Nuggets just need one more playmaker, and then boom, they're going to the conference finals or finals, and they probably learned from getting beat by Portland in 7 games. So yeah, I say Denver. Then we have the Clippers and Mavericks again. If the Clippers wasn't good at defense, then I'll have the Mavs, but it's gonna be the Clippers. I think it's gonna be the Clippers because because the offense is amazing. Not as good as Dallas is, in my opinion. But if Montrezl Harrell comes back, man, it's gonna be then Clippers are just gonna sweep through entire teams. But I'm gonna give the game this time. I'm gonna say Clips in 6 games because I know that the Dallas Mavericks offense is gonna do amazing. It just what can they do defensively? What can they do defensively? If Mavericks step up the defensive game and be better in the clutch, then it's a toss up. It's a toss up. But yeah, I have the Clippers winning it. So now we're gonna go to the East. We have the Bucks and Magic. Easily the Bucks. Now, now I'm actually just gonna skip ahead and go with the Celtics versus 76ers. Celtics. Even if Ben Simmons was playing, I'll still go with the Celtics. But I think the Celtics are gonna win like in 4 or 5 games. It's just because the Celtics are just all around a really good team, and I think they're gonna go far. 76ers, we don't know if Embiid's playing, but they're without Simmons, and an Embiid carried team that has like good solid players, but like not super solid players that like the Celtics have, or like emerging like really really good pieces. Now Toronto versus Brooklyn, I say Toronto easily. Toronto, I say in like 6 games. No, 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 5 games. It's just Toronto's defense is just absolutely amazing. And again, it's like the Denver Nuggets. If they just get one more playmaker, and then they're gonna the finals champions. We saw that with Kawhi Leonard. They had that one really good playmaker, and I think Kyle Lowry's gonna do better in the playoffs this time because Kyle Lowry's like, I know what it's like to play in the finals. This is the feeling. This is the feeling to be in the finals and all this pressure. So now I can incorporate it next time. So yeah, because the DeMar DeRozan led Raptors just didn't know what the pressure was like, just folding in the pressure. So Kyle Lowry definitely needed that finals win. And of course Siakam and solid key players. But yeah, I think Kyle Lowry is just gonna be the decider. It's gonna be good. But yeah, Toronto easily. Now we have Indiana versus Miami. Now this is actually really good. I say, in my opinion, I say the Heat is like $1 bucks, like $1 store bucks, or like a $10 store Boston Celtics. They're just amazing on defense. They got that superstar, but Jimmy Butler isn't as good as Giannis, obviously. But the Pacers, they have Oladipo back. They didn't have that last, year when they got swept by the Celtics. I say the Heat. I say the Heat, and the reason why is because Jimmy Butler, is just gonna be amazing. And the Pacers, they have good players, but like again, half of the teams, a quarter of these teams just need one more playmaker or just one more scoring threat. Just playmaker, and then they're gonna be so good. They're gonna be so good. So yeah, so I say Miami Heat, but I definitely say 6 games. I definitely say 6 games. So now we have the Lakers versus the Rockets. I say the Rockets. I don't think the Lakers are really going to be. I don't think the Lakers are going to go too far. I don't think I. I'm not. Of course, I'm not going to be surprised if they beat the Rockets or the Thunder, whatever the team wins, or if the Blazers win. I'm not surprised if they win the finals, but I just don't see it happening because when LeBron James, unless LeBron James is playing 48 minutes a game, I don't see the Lakers going too far. Because we're realizing from the bubble that without Rondo and Avery Bradley, they're just not good. Because Avery Bradley and Rondo together get like 16 to 17 points alone, and they have like really good defense. So I just see Houston dominating on the guards. I could totally see James Harden being guarded by LeBron James or Caruso, one of them too. But yeah, just Avery Bradley and And I think Avery Bradley and Rajon Rondo are gonna be are gonna be more important than Dion and J.R. Smith, because J.R. is just he's not the defensive is lacking. And now we have the Denver versus Clippers. This is actually a good matchup. This is actually a pretty good matchup. But I say the Clippers. I say the Clippers. I just think that Kawhi Leonard could possibly play power forward and Paul George played small forward, and they just expose the power forwards and they just expose the forwards. Yeah, because again, it all falls into one playmaker. It just falls into one playmaker. Kawhi Leonard or Nikola Jokic. I take Kawhi Leonard. I take Kawhi Leonard. If he can average 30 points a game on that defensive run, while he has like arthritis in his knee or knee injury, then he can definitely take this better Toronto team. I mean, a better team than Toronto last year. Definitely. Far. So now we have the Bucks and Miami Heat. I say the Bucks because at the end of the day, it all falls into person. Giannis or Jimmy. I'll take Giannis. Again, the Bucks are just the best defensive team, and it definitely helps by Mike Budenholzer, who has just amazing defensive schemes, and the Lopez brothers just being absolutely amazing. Brook Lopez being that 3-and-D guy, Robin Lopez just being that defensive guy that they need. So definitely amazing game plan. I feel like each player match up well, except for Giannis and um, Derek Jones Jr. and I guess Jimmy Butler. Actually no. Giannis plays power forward. Uh, whoever's playing power forward. I think Derek Jones Jr. plays a little bit of power forward, but I think he's primarily a small forward. Bam's a center. Um, but again, I don't see it happening, but I'm not going to be the most surprised if Heat or Pacers, if the Heat did beat the Bucks or Pacers again or Orlando, whatever. But yeah, now we have probably the most exciting matchup or the most closest matchup we're gonna get, except maybe the Lakers and Rockets, the Celtics and the Raptors. Both teams match up evenly well. I say the Celtics. I say the Celtics, and I say the Celtics because just Jason Tatum. OG Anunoby is actually really good on the defensive end, and he's a good 3-and-D guy, and what he's been doing for the season for his role on the team is just absolutely amazing. But I feel like Jason Tatum just going to be amazing. And you have a complement of Kemba, and then you have Jaylen Brown. That's a quick 65 to 70 points. Versus when you have just like Kyle Lowry, Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Norman Powell, that straight up just equals like 50 to 55. And not to mention the Celtics like good bench. Maybe if they could, improve the point guard. Carson Edwards isn't exactly the best. Isn't exactly the best point guard. He was pretty good in Purdue in March Madness. So, but yeah, I definitely it's a toss up. It's a toss up here, but I'll say the Celtics squeak through in like 7 games. So now we have the Houston Rockets versus the LA Clippers. I say the LA Clippers. I say the LA Clippers because what Houston has is just an amazing offensive team. Just an amazing offensive team. And the Clippers have an amazing defensive team, so I definitely can see Kawhi Leonard being guarding. I can definitely see James Harden being guarded by Kawhi Leonard in this case, and and I think LA's Clippers team, and I think this Clippers team has a better bench in my opinion than the Rockets because Lou Will, Montrezl Harrell, that's a quick 40 points, and that's just from the bench, and then you know I think that the Clippers will win in like 6 games. I think Harden, always he's a fighter. He's a fighter. I've never seen a series where Harden just gets destroyed. Well, maybe in the first round against the Trailblazers back in 2014, but either that or maybe the 2016 against Golden State Warriors. Okay, well, this has been a few times, but as of late, no. Anyways, so now we have the Bucks versus the Celtics. Ooh. Okay. So, this is gonna be a really tough one. It's really gonna be a tough one. This is a toss up. This is a toss up in my opinion. I don't think the Bucks are just gonna roll through the East. I actually think there's competition in the East, mainly from the Celtics. I think the Celtics are the second best team in the East. At the end of the day, this series, what it's gonna come to is if Chris Middleton. It's Chris Middleton. If Chris Middleton plays well, the Bucks easily. If Chris Middleton doesn't perform and he plays like he did last year against the Toronto, Celtics have it. So I'm gonna predict what Chris Middleton will do. I think Chris Middleton, he averages 20 a game. I think he's gonna average like 19 a game, and I think that would push the Bucks enough to reach the NBA Finals. So yeah, I say the Bucks in 6 or 7. So now we have the NBA Finals matchup. In my opinion, I think I'm gonna get at least one wrong. I don't see me being perfect because we don't know about LA versus Portland. Houston versus OKC, and all these good teams. And the Clippers versus Bucks. So I think it's going to be the Clippers because these are the two best defensive teams in the league. And I feel like if Kawhi guards Giannis, then it's going to be over. Giannis isn't going to perform as well as he usually does. He averages, I think, 31 a game. I think with Kawhi Leonard guarding him, he's going to average like 22 to 25 a game. And Chris Middleton, I feel like when the pressure's on him, he's not going to perform as well because we saw him in Toronto in Game 6 in the Eastern Conference Finals, between Games 3 and 6. And I just don't think that if Chris Middleton does his best and Giannis does his regular self, then I still think they're going to be really good, but at the end of the day, though, the Clippers bench is just going to be amazing. The Bucks bench isn't that good. Pat Connaughton's good. DJ Wilson's good. I mean, all these players are they're decent or good, but they're not. But it's not a great bench. It's not a bench that wins championships. So I think the Clippers bench is what's going to destroy. I think the Clippers bench is the deciding factor. Also, Chris Middleton's play and how well who's ever guarding Giannis can guard him. I think it's going to be Kawhi Leonard, but who knows? It could be another person. We don't know. So it all depends on how Giannis and Chris Middleton and how the Bucks can somehow compete with the Clippers bench. So yeah, that's my NBA playoff predictions. Let me know what your thoughts are, if you agree or disagree. Yeah. Have a good day, guys.